Okay, I think we are live now. Maybe I can just check that really quick. Let's see. I think all's well. Okay, yes, that is working. Let's see if I can share this. Let's see if that's true. Yes, I did. All right, great. Here we are. Oh, let's get a little more light. There we are. Okay. I'm using a different camera than usual. Um, Usually I'm doing it from my phone, but for whatever reason I had a really hard time with hooking it up to my phone. So this is how we're going to roll with it today. I've got, I'll be using my computer. I will be using two windows, so that'll be a little different than how I usually do it because I'm usually looking at my camera and I can see what's going on, or I look in my phone and I can see what's going on in there. So this will just be a little bit different. But that's okay. Um, Hope everybody out there is doing great. We are going to do this really beautiful image taken by Veronica Cohen. And let's see. I'm going to bring up that image for myself. It's a really nice, beautiful iris. I know I did an iris previously. That picture was taken by my friend Sherry, so it's nice to have another iris, different perspective, different artist or photographer, and we'll see how this one turns out. But I'm pretty excited to check it out. So hopefully you've got some watercolor paper. You've got your watercolors. I just have like a really simple set like this, and then I have two brushes. One brush is just like the brush that came with the kit, and the other brush is kind of just a little bit bigger, filling in bigger areas. Let's just get the camera going onto my paper so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. All right, that looks pretty good. You can see I've got this big dollop of blue right there. I didn't have the heart to wipe it off. I feel like I might be able to use that at some point. So we're doing this iris, so you should have the other window open that has the iris in it. I'm gonna take my own advice here. That didn't work out. Let's do it one more time. Sorry what I've done. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So that didn't exactly work out, but I'm gonna just have to switch back and forth. Here we go. I'm gonna start with my bigger brush. Well, let's start with the small brush. I want to start with, in the very center of our flower, we have that yellow area. It's gonna be like a little crescent in there, just kind of like this. We're gonna start nice and transparent, and then we'll sorry, I'm like just trying to get things to work the way that I want them to work. Okay, good. You can see that everything is working the way it's supposed to work. Great. So from here, I want to start to create a nice transparent purple. And I want to get that front petal there. So to make sure I can get it nice and transparent, I'm just gonna go into my palette, put my purple over there, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of water to it so it'll have a little more transparency. And I can see it kind of comes out on the side. It's got this kind of diamond shape. It's big. Zora decided she didn't want to do it today, so that's alright. I feel like that comes off. There's like this other thing that's happening back in here. But this kind of curves in like this. And it's actually got a little bit of red to it, so I'm just gonna take some of this red here and add it to my purple. Don't overpower it. Remember, transparency. I know that there is some white there in the middle, or it looks pretty white, so I'm going to go even more transparent. Hopefully I didn't overdo it. Usually it seems like my watercolors end up too light, so I'm not that worried. But, you know, of course I want to do my best. So, here we go. I'm just going to continue. I can see that there's sort of this inner petal that happens in here. It's kind of, it's like a tongue or something. It's got a nice curve on this side, not as much on that side. We're sort of seeing it from an angle. I'm just going to fill that in. Now I want to start to leave some edges. You can see I'm using the sort of the knife edge of this bigger flat brush. Some of these are going to be darker areas, but for now, I just want to get the shape. What I'm trying to kind of get is the contours. So like there's this big fold that happens. It's going to kind of come down like that. And then I think this is actually kind of part of it. Sort of swoops over like that. And then there's this sort of outer petal that happens here. So again, where I want to see an edge, I'm almost just leaving it white. There's this kind of little hump that happens out here, and then this comes out to this point. Okay. Alright, and then we've got a petal that kind of comes up and over, and then down. Let's keep that edge there. Hopefully you've got like some nice tunes going where you are. I know I always like to play with, or you know, make art with music playing in the background. Yeah, I would do that if I didn't think it would get me pulled off of Facebook or whatever they do to you. But that means that you have the ability to put it on where you are, and you can put on whatever music is inspiring to you. All right, so that is pretty much that front flower. I feel like this needs to come over a little further. Everything's leaning a little further to the right than what I've made it. So I'll make those corrections as I go. Let's see. We do have some stems and things like that. They're going to be kind of a yellowy green. So I'm going to start with my yellow, and then I'm just going to add a little touch of green to it, and we can always get a little more saturated with our color, so we'll kind of stay transparent. You can see one just comes right up here like this, right up against there, and then this guy comes in like this. Let's see, there's some down in here. And then the other one is, can't really see, maybe it's coming on a little bit over here. And you can see there's like these leaves that come up. I know I need to go look and see if anybody's commented anything. Hopefully this is working well for everybody. Let's see. Okay. Well, it doesn't seem like anybody's really watching right now, but I know that eventually people will end up watching this. I am looking forward to getting back with my friends over at Casa de Mañana. It's been since March since I've seen them, and they're just like the best kind of people. I really have enjoyed my time over there, and so I've missed them. Feel like I haven't seen some friends in a long time, so that'll be really good to start with them again on the 14th. But I'm still planning on doing these type of things. Still, I'm going to do them. Probably it'll be on a different day. I'm looking at maybe Thursdays, but if there are people that feel strongly about having a certain day instead, then I'm all ears. I'm not married to Thursdays, and we have a little bit of time to figure it out. Okay, what's going on here? So there is this other petal that kind of comes in. Right there. Right. Let's do a little bit more background. I think I'll leave out the other iris in the background there. Yeah, otherwise I'll never finish. Let's get back into our flower. I'm going to go in with a smaller brush now. And maybe what I'll do is I'll start to bring in some darker purples. Like right up in here. You can see I just use the tip of the brush, and then that enables my bristles. They'll stay nice and together. If I press down, then they'll spread. And that'll give me a bigger kind of mark, which that's not what I want. So there's that. This is where the fun happens, because you get to, really start to find the edges. These are just like a bunch of little smiles here. This petal's edge just kind of whips up there. And then by bringing out the color in this petal, then we're able to see the edge here. So that's pretty cool. And eventually we'll, try to bring in some of those reds a little more. I mean, we could start doing that now. It's not giving me quite what I want. The color's not quite right, but alright. Cruising right along. Definitely have quite a bit of darker, deeper purple going on here. And I might even add just a little bit of black to some of this. It's really nice deep purple there. I mean, I'm really just kind of filling in where I see that I need to fill in. There's no real trick to this. I'm sort of trying to get the direction of the way that the curves of the sort of the striations within the petals. You want to get that as as correct as you can. I can already see I need, what I might do is I'll find a white, maybe a white watercolor pencil, and I'll come back in and add in some of the lights that I lost. But this is looking not too shabby. Definitely needs a lot of work, but we are not even halfway through, and I did have the technical difficulties at the beginning that were definitely baffling to me. I've never had that problem before where I was unable to do the video from my phone, which is how I've been doing it. So anyway, great story. Okay, so I wanted to make this dark area right in here. Let's see. Alright. I can see there's like a dark little loop in here. These petals just twist and turn over each other. Let's see. Okay, so this is here. And then it goes down and up. bring this branch in front here, so I'm just going to emphasize that. Okay. Yeah, this is really dark in here. Excuse me. Okay. Now I kind of figured out where I am here. There's all this weird folds and stuff that happens in here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to stay pretty true to what I see. I just see all these little divots in here. I do see a little bit of like oranginess in there, kind of. So I'm going to see if I can do that. Just take a little bit of orange and just kind of. Jesus, that was maybe a little overdone. Let's spread that around a little. That's kind of okay. And I see that also, like in here. And on this part here, this petal back here. And maybe even just like a little bit right in here. Just wherever you see it needs that, you can add a little bit of that orangey color. Maybe even a little red. Let's see. Maybe that'll help, like in areas like this. A little bit redder. A little redder here. You gotta try things, you know? You never know what might work and what might not. I definitely will be bringing some more black into that purple there. Okay, let's see. So this is pretty white in here. It looks like I could take a little bit of orangey and bring it in here. And maybe just a real pale few little stripes. Like that. This is a whole little thing in here too. That needs a little more saturation. Okay. Alright, I like what's going on. I can see this is going to come up in here. Okay. Little by little, here we go. It's gonna have, there's the shadow that comes right in here. And then this is kind of a pale purple over here. And then we've got a little bit of a darker edge where this new petal folds over. And then some sort of stripes out this way. This is going to end. Oh, isn't that interesting? I didn't even realize that this was a part of this petal here. So that's interesting. That comes down right there. Huh. You don't see it unless you look hard. It just looks like this sort of mass of different things happening. Okay, so here's this. Now we're in this, and then this is gonna stop abruptly. There's gonna be like a line. And then you've got this part. Probably see if anybody has had anything to say. I haven't really okay. Alright, well that's looking pretty good, at least on the screen. Maybe I can zoom out just a little bit more. Let's see what I can do here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's go back and see what I'm doing here. Okay. So this edge, and then we've got this guy back here, so we've got a little dark purple, and then it's going to kind of come out like so, kind of a darker edge. This doesn't go out quite as far as I made it, but we'll just go with it, just for the sake of ease. It's not going to be exactly the same, but it's pretty close. Little differences are what make things interesting, and you know, we're trying to get the likeness without having to get completely stressed out about making it perfect. So this is going to come down in here. Okay. This was the problem that I ran into last time when I did an iris, was that I just don't have the right, like, pink color. This red doesn't work that great for it. Alright, let's add a little bit of black to areas like this. And I need some right up in here. A little bit back in here. And maybe that's it for the black. Maybe just a little bit around here. I don't know, I think we could go darker purple in some of those areas too. So there is like the start of like a bud of an iris that kind of happens right here. I guess I could do that. So I'm going to start with like a pale yellow. It sort of comes off like this. I don't know, this might be too much. I'm not even going to be able to fit it on there too easy, so I might abandon that. Yeah, since we've got just 20 more minutes, let's just stick with the iris. Let's get that a little more dialed in. I'm just kind of going back into areas that need to be defined a little bit better. You know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a white watercolor pencil. I'm getting a white watercolor pencil because I do need to add some white back in. And this is a really good way to do it. See, it's a white watercolor pencil. Like I'm wetting it a little bit. But then I can come back in here and I can try to add some white back into these areas. Even in my yellow, it got a little too yellow. I can add some white back in. And then I also like this edge here is light. And I'd like to bring it out again. So now I gotta come back in and create those edges a little bit more with some dark. So here we go. Let's see if we can do it. Very thin. Bring some white into this edge here too. This is supposed to be like a little hood covering that part and casting that shadow, so I want to have that. Probably add a little more white into this area here. Just got to make sure that you don't get your white dirty. Yep, don't get it dirty with the other colors that are around it. But that's looking pretty good to me. I like where this is headed. Got some whites in here. Got to bring some whites back into here. Okay. Go back in and get some darks in there too. Just want to boost the contrast a little bit more. Definitely saturate my purples a little bit. You know, try to have some dark areas and some light areas. Oh, I need a big shadow on this guy. I gotta use a little black. Just want to make sure You know, that I got it all the darks where I wanted them to be. It's tricky business. But I think it's actually looking pretty good. 10 minutes. I'm not going to be able to get too much done, but maybe I can do a little more background. I know I'm not using really the right color for this. Should be using kind of more of a brown. But that's all right. We're just kind of coming in fast, coming in hot, just laying it in. With my greens, I can always add a little bit of red to create a little bit of a muddy green for shadows. In fact, I think I'm going to need a little more of that red, because these are all in shadow over here. And then the background, it seems, is like kind of yellow, which will go nice against the purple. So just lay that in kind of, you know, carefully. You never really want to rush. When you rush, that's when you make dumb mistakes. Or when I rush, that's when I make dumb mistakes. So that's something that I've learned again and again, that if you can avoid having to learn that lesson through my advice, then it's advice well worth giving, because you know, I can't tell you how many pieces of art I've had to abandon because they just didn't work out the way I wanted them to, or you know, it took me a long time to figure out how to fix certain pieces. And the initial reason that they had to be fixed was because I was rushing. So don't rush, take it slow. Let's see what I got going here. That looks pretty good. It's, you know, your watercolor paints are always going to be kind of transparent. There's just no getting around that. And I would say that the color on the screen is not as vibrant as the color is in person. It definitely is feeling a little washed out in my video. But all in all, not too shabby. I'm just going to spend a little bit of time tightening things up. So let's see. Also, there are these weird little yellow kind of bands that happen through here. I'm going to just add a little bit of that yellow through there because I can see it, and I can add a little yellow through here too. There we go. A little bit of yellow coming through there. And maybe we can just add a little bit over here. If I can get that to show up, that's going to look pretty nice. There's definitely more purple happening through here. I'm just trying to, some of these got a little bit straightish. I'm trying to sort of make them a little less straight and a little more curvy and, you know, organic looking. Every little stroke kind of helps. Always try to get the markings going in the right direction. These are like little ripples in the edge of our petal there. It's really not too bad. All right. Coming down to the end. Boy, that was exciting at the beginning there when I couldn't get the camera to work right. Probably wasn't exciting from your end, but from mine, I was a little bit stressed. But look, we caught up. It's looking pretty good. Starting to find the details. Let's see what we can do with this thing over here real quick. Okay. Basically kind of trying to create a grayish color for my shadows in this thing. Anyway, that's the idea. Alright, I think I'm going to call that done. I'm going to flip things around here. Alright, let's just go back to here. And that is it for me. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry about all the confusion earlier about when this thing was going to be starting and where it was going to be taking place and on what day. But we will be meeting again next week here, Monday, 3 o'clock. I'll have a new image that we'll be working from. Please send me images if you have any that you wouldn't mind me recreating in a lesson like this. That would be really amazing because I'm running out of cool images to use. So, hope you enjoyed yourself. Hope you made a nice, beautiful piece of art today. I know I'm happy with what I made, and hope you have a wonderful week. Thanks for joining me. I love you. Bye.